What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at my M1 Garand, or Garand, or Grand. If you say it real fast, it sounds like M1 Grand. But the inventor's name was actually John C. Garand, but I think it just kind of got the name of Garand. This was obviously the service rifle through World War II all the way into Korea, past Korea, and until they adopted the M14, which is kind of honestly a modified version, a magazine-fed modernized version of this. But this one's mine, and I was speaking to a friend of mine, Rob, on the phone, and telling him stuff about this rifle that I didn't even know. He was telling me this was a Dutch bringback, I think, a Lend-Lease rifle that came from Holland because it has a VAR barrel. I think that's correct. Let me know down in the comments. Apparently it's a very good barrel. Now, a couple of things about this rifle. I did do a video where I talked about how the stock was loose and how to fix that. I'll link that down below. How you can shim the stock out with card stock. Ammunition, okay? Only shoot. I know there's probably a ton of videos out there explaining this stuff, but I'm gonna explain it again in case somebody comes across this video who doesn't know, hasn't seen the other videos. You know, a lot of people be like, everybody knows that, bro. No, everybody doesn't. So that's why, if you know this, okay, ignore it. If not, I'll give you a little piece of advice. Do not shoot commercial 30-06 ammunition out of this rifle, especially the heavy 180s. You can beat it up real bad. The gas system was not designed for that. It was designed for the 150 grain, all right? 30-06, which was lower pressures and all that other kind of stuff. Speaking of ammunition for this video was provided by Mark at Browne Works. Fantastic custom grip maker. Link in the description below. Go check him out. He makes beautiful custom grips. Everything from snake skin to, you know, just all kinds. He stain them different colors, put custom engravings on them, custom pictures. He's an artist, man. He does fantastic stuff. He provided some of this ammo, and as you can see, it says 30-06. Let me see if you can see that in there. I can't tell, yeah, if it's clear or not. Yep, for M1 Garand. So it's 150 grain, 30-06, specifically designed the pressures for this rifle. Now, there is an aftermarket gas plug you can buy for these if you want to shoot the commercial ammo and stuff, but it is more powerful. The commercial stuff is it's higher pressure than the M1 stuff. So we're just gonna fire this sucker up, see if it works, have some fun with it today, kind of give you an idea of my M1. So obviously, again, for people that know, ignore this, but comes in 8-round end block clips. You obviously stick it in the top, press down till it clicks. Now, sometimes you will get that, all right? Sometimes, especially the newer ones, they'll just strip it right off and you'll be ready to go. But a lot of times you'll get it where it just hangs up on that first round, and that's normal. You just give it a little smack on the back of the op rod handle right there and let it go. Safety is in the front right here. That's fire. That's safe, all right? Now we're just gonna fire this first clip out of it and see how she works. I actually haven't fired this rifle in a while, man. Okay, something did not work right there. And see, that's one thing. Oh, look. See, and that's one of the things with these older rifles, all right? Op rod popped right out of the track right there. You see that? With some of the surplus stuff, man, you have got to, yeah, it didn't even, with some of the surplus stuff, man, things will wear out on it. I don't know if when I popped it, it popped out of the track right there. That can happen sometimes when the little tab on there starts to get worn out. The fix for that is get a new op rod, send it off to a gunsmith to fix it, something like that. Let's see if it continues to happen. Like I said, I haven't shot this gun in a while. I don't remember that ever happening, but. And yeah, see, I don't know why this clip came out. We're having issues with her today. I haven't had issues like that. before with this rifle. Huh. But that's something, again, you might have to encounter with some of these surplus. And there is the classic ping. Also, sometimes, let me tell you about some of these clips. So, believe it or not, these clips are collectible. There's certain ones that are made. There was a bunch of aftermarket, I think IMI Israeli ones, or again, Garand experts. Get down in the comments. Let me know what's going on, you know, if you know about all the clips. But there was a bunch of, later on, clips made where this little ledge, that's where the little clip holder holds on. That ledge can be rounded. It could go, that could lend to the early ejection of some of these clips. Not all clips are good. There were some out there that were ass. If there were World War II ones and they're marked like stamped SA and some of that other kind of stuff, those are usually all right. But let's grab some more clips and see if we keep having problems with this old girl. All right, folks, so I also brought out some surplus ammunition that I reloaded. Actually, I don't think, this is Lake City. So you used to be able to get a bunch of surplus ammo from CMP years ago, and some of it was de-linked machine gun ammo that hadn't been stored properly. And so it didn't really work all that great. This might be some of it. Let's check this out. See how well this one works. See how some ammo, it'll just strip it right off, and some you have to smack the back of the op rod. Shoot, that stuff worked great. All right, so we got two different kinds of clips here. We're going to see if the difference was both the ammo and the clip. This was the first clip we used. This was the second one with the Lake City surplus ammunition in it. I'm going to put some of that new S&B 30-06 in here, and we're going to see if maybe this clip was bad. It's a cool sound. I have encountered bad clips in the past. It's a thing. So let me just load up this clip with some of that S&B that Mark provided, and we'll see if that works any better. Okay, so we have some of the SMB M1 Garand ammo put in that clip that we used for the second, and see how sometimes, see the difference with the clip? The first clip you had to smack it. A lot of times it's the tension on the clip that makes a difference. Let's see if we can get this to work. See, I think what happened was the first time when I smacked it, I might have knocked the op rod out of the track, as you saw. And then the problems after that was, I believe, that clip. So we're going to stay away from that clip for the remainder of the video, and we'll just keep shooting. So, if you noticed, I forgot to put my hearing protection on, so my ears are ringing right now. But I couldn't stop. I had to keep going for the art, man. Yeah, that was stupid. I should have just... I was like, why is this louder than normal? Well, because you didn't put your ears on, dummy. But there it is. There's the cool ping. Got to hear it. Everything in live. No wonder that World War II vets came back and Korean vets came back deaf as hell, because there was you wasn't wearing freaking ear pro back then. But always love the ping sound, man. So let's just keep shooting it. All right, folks, so while we're waiting to let this old girl cool down, because this sucker, it's hot, man. I want to talk about a couple of things with the M1 that, you know, some people might not know. Now, Garand experts, what do you scream at me in the comments? This is not for you, okay? This is for, again, the people that might come across this video and not know. This front handguard, okay, you see the play in that? That's on purpose. Don't try to tighten that up. Really don't. Don't try to, I've seen videos on YouTube, they're like, oh, shim this and do that. Don't do that. That was done completely on purpose. Some people think because it's an old rifle and that's rattly, it's just old and falling apart. That's not the case. It's my understanding from a lot of the old dudes that I consider Garand experts, that's done on purpose. Do not tighten it up. You will, as the rifle heats up, you will affect accuracy as it pushes on the barrel and stuff like that. So leave that alone. Stacking swivel. That's what they used to do back in the day. We ever see old movies where they're sitting around the campfire and they're put up like freaking like teepees, and you see the 3 rifles or 5 or how many they want in a circle, and it looks like a teepee. That's what that's for. For all y'all that don't know, you just interlace like 3, 4, 5 rifles, whatever you want to do. Typically it's 3, and stack them up there. Ammunition, okay? In case you didn't know, when it was first invented, it was for a proprietary cartridge, and this clip held 10 rounds. However, the Army, you know, in their best wisdom, which it did make sense, told them to rechamber it to 30-06, which reduced the capacity to 8 rounds because they had billions of these rounds in inventory. Why would you take a general purpose service rifle that's going to be issued in the millions and put it in arguably a better cartridge? It was lighter recoiling, you got more capacity, it was probably more accurate. I think it was a 276. It might have been the same one that Pedersen was using. I'm not sure. I don't remember all that stuff. I'm just kind of out here talking off the cuff of what I remember. But it was, by all accounts, it was a superior cartridge to 30-06. But to tool up and do all that stuff, and with the drums of war beaten over in Europe, I think even though this is an inferior cartridge, they made the right choice. But it reduced it to 8, as said before. Now, M1 clips, you can load either left-hand side or right-hand side. Do you see how these are? If this is how it sits in the rifle, the first cartridge to strip off is on the left on this one. And on this one, the first cartridge to strip off is on the right. If your rifle is working properly, it should not matter. I personally prefer, and I think most people do, on the right, because when you press down with your thumb on the right, you're not pressing down on an empty clip, which can hurt, but otherwise, either way, they work perfectly. When loading this, I know a lot of people know how to load it. You obviously put it in the top and press down, right? But the old guys used to tell me is you take a knife hand, like when you were in the military, you get knife handed. You take your knife hand, you place it behind the hook on the op rod handle. Then so you press down in one motion and let it go. So that's how you would, that way you can get your thumb, you press down and you're holding it back with the side of your hand, you can get your thumb out of the way so you don't get Garand thumb. Not the guy, the channel, but the actual, you know what I'm talking about. So she cooled down a little bit. Let's get back to shooting. All right, so we're gonna attempt a reload, all right? This time I'm gonna wear my hearing protection too. So what I got here is, you saw me load the S&B in this gun, so it is loaded. I have 8 rounds of my reloads with a different clip. This one's actually got some rust on it, so we'll see. We're gonna mix it up. I'm going to attempt to reload with this rifle. So I'm gonna do a mag dump, and then we are going to reload and see how well that goes. Okay, so another thing to check on this rifle is your gas plug. I noticed, see, I was able to turn it by hand. I noticed it was coming loose, so I don't have the whole cleaning kit in there. I just don't. But I did have the Garand tool that you can take apart your bolt with, and it's got this screwdriver dealio to get in there on the end. And I found a regular screwdriver in my UTV back there. So you just tighten it up. Make sure you kind of check. Again, you saw that it's hand tight, loose, or whatever. So just get it in there. Make sure you keep your gas plug tight. All right, folks, so got a piece of steel down there, C-zone piece of steel at 100 yards. We're just gonna try to, do some nice leisurely shooting. See how many times we can hit it. All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so 7 out of 8. That's not bad. And that first one, that was all I need to save that clip. That's that good clip. That first one, that first miss was all me. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay, folks, so now we're gonna try some prone shooting. And I think I'm gonna load it from the prone. That is one of the benefits of not having a magazine sticking out the bottom. You don't have to manipulate the rifle, turn to the side. Not that that's a big of a deal, but if you're laying prone, man, you just keep feeding stuff right in the top. But let's see how well we can shoot this sucker prone. All right, down here in the grass. Okay, here we go. Let's get some prone action going. All right, what was that, 5? I have to go back and count. Not too bad. Okay, folks, I forgot to bring a target out, but I'm just gonna be doing a mindless mag dump reload anyway. So I know, well, you're not even shooting nothing. I'm just gonna mag dump into the backstop and do a reload. I'm gonna see how fast I can actually pull the trigger on this old girl. Let's see here. Let's load it up. I do not know if this will even work. Let's go. All right. Here we go. All right, folks. My thoughts on the M1 Garand. I love this rifle, man. I think these are fantastic. Still to this day, they're a shitload of fun. This is the best surplus military rifle you can buy, hands down. This thing is fantastic. This was the best standard issue infantry rifle of World War II. It was fantastic. And Korea, frankly, too. At its time, it was groundbreaking. I mean, the firepower advantage that this gave our troops over every other country's bolt-action rifles was insane. It's reliable, it's accurate, it's for its time, it's high capacity. Most bolt actions carried 5 rounds, you know, minus the infield that carried 10, but still, you can, well, as you saw, you can shoot it pretty fast. And sometimes that's what you need for suppressive fire. These are fantastic rifles. If you are new to this and you do want the best surplus rifle on the market, get you one of these, man. They're great. I wanted to show you, I didn't mention it, I don't think, for the new guys. That's your clip release right there. How it works is, say you got your clip in, right? you're patrolling or whatever, you didn't fire, you're back in the camp, you want to unload your rifle, or maybe you did fire a couple rounds, you want to top off, or maybe for whatever, when you want to unload the rifle without having to cycle it 8 times, you just, let me get some support here. Take the top round off, okay? Hot. You hold, make sure you hold the clip, the op rod back, okay? And then you just press the button and it flies out and you're good. You just release it. Do not, okay? Do not have it closed and then hit that clip button and then pull it out and have everything pop out. You'll break it that way. It's not the way it was designed to do. The way you're designed to unload it is the way you just saw. Now, of course, you put your hand over it and catch it. I just did that because it looked cool. But there it is, guys. My favorite surplus military rifle. A lot of people's favorite surplus military rifle. The U.S. rifle caliber 30 M1. There it is. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.